There was once a man whose wife had passed away and a woman whose husband had passed away. The man had a daughter, and so did the woman. The two girls knew each other and sometimes played together at the woman's house. One day, the woman said to the man's daughter, "Listen, go and tell your father that I would like to marry him. If he agrees, you shall have milk to wash in every morning and wine to drink, while my own daughter will have only water for both." The girl went home and repeated everything to her father. The man was torn. He sighed and said, "What should I do? Marriage can be a great joy, but it can also be a torment." Unable to make up his mind, he finally took off his boot. "Take this boot," he told his daughter. "It has a hole in the sole. Go up to the loft, hang it on the big nail, and pour water into it. If it holds the water, I will take a wife again. If the water leaks out, I will not." The girl did exactly as she was told, but as she poured, the water seemed to press the hole shut, and the boot filled all the way to the top without a single drop spilling. She ran back and told her father what had happened. He went up to the loft to see for himself, and sure enough, the boot was full. Seeing it as a sign, he went to the widow, proposed to her, and soon after they were married. The very next morning, when the two girls woke up, things were just as the stepmother had promised. By the man's daughter's bedside, there was a bowl of milk for washing and a cup of wine for drinking. By the woman's daughter's bedside, there was only water for washing and water for drinking. But this arrangement didn't last. On the second morning, both girls found only water by their beds, and on the third morning, everything was reversed. The man's daughter now had only water, while the woman's daughter had milk and wine, and from that day on, that's how it stayed. The new wife began to truly despise her stepdaughter. Every day she found new ways to be cruel. She was terribly jealous because her stepdaughter was beautiful and kind, while her own daughter was unattractive and unpleasant. One day, in the dead of winter, when a hard frost had settled over the land and deep snow covered every hill and valley, the stepmother did something truly strange. She made a little dress out of paper, called her stepdaughter to her, and said, "Here, put on this paper dress. I want you to go out into the woods and bring me back a basket full of strawberries. I have a sudden craving for them." The poor girl was shocked. "Oh dear," she said, "but there are no strawberries in winter. The ground is frozen solid and snow covers everything. And why must I wear this paper dress? It's so cold outside, my breath will freeze in the air. The wind will blow right through it, and the thorns in the woods will surely tear it to pieces." "How dare you argue with me?" the stepmother screamed. "How dare you argue with me?" the stepmother screamed. Then she handed her a tiny, hard piece of bread. "This will be your food for the day," she said, thinking to herself, "She surely freeze or starve to death out there. I'll be rid of her for good." The girl, being obedient, put on the flimsy paper dress, took the small basket, and set out into the biting cold. As far as she could see, there was nothing but snow, not a single blade of green grass. As she entered the woods, she spotted a small house. Peeking out from a window were 3 little men. She politely wished them a good day and knocked gently on their door. They called for her to come inside. She stepped into the warm room, sat down by the oven to warm herself, and prepared to eat her tiny piece of bread. The little men spoke up. "Give us some of that." "Willingly," she replied. She broke her small piece of bread in 2 and gave them half. Then they asked her, "What are you doing out here in the woods, in the middle of winter, wearing such a thin little dress?" Deep in a snow-covered forest lived a kind and beautiful girl with her cruel stepmother and selfish stepsister. Her impossible task, to fill a basket with ripe strawberries. The poor girl, shivering and heartbroken, knew she couldn't possibly find strawberries in the dead of winter. Yet she had no choice but to obey. As she trudged through the deep snow, she stumbled upon a tiny, curious-looking house. Peeking out from the window were 3 little men. She greeted them politely, "Good day," and knocked softly on the door. They invited her in, and seeing how cold and hungry she looked, they asked about her strange task. "Oh," she answered, "I have to get a basket of strawberries, and I must not go home without them." The little men, feeling sorry for her, offered her a place by their warm fire. The girl, though famished, gratefully pulled out the single piece of dry bread her stepmother had given her. Before taking a bite, she offered to share it with the 3 little men. "It's not much," she said, "but you are welcome to some." They smiled and shared the simple meal with her. After they had eaten, they handed her a broom. "Go and sweep the snow away from our back door," they told her. The girl didn't hesitate. She went outside and began to sweep. While she was working, the 3 little men huddled together. "She is so good and pretty, and she even shared her last crust of bread with us," the first one said. "We must give her a gift." The first man declared, "My gift is that she shall grow prettier every single day." The second man added, "My gift is that each time she speaks, a piece of gold shall fall from her mouth." And the third, with a knowing look, said, "My gift is that a king shall come and take her for his wife." Meanwhile, the girl finished sweeping the snow from the back of the little house. And what do you think she found there? Hidden beneath the white blanket was a patch of the most beautiful, ripe strawberries, glowing dark red against the snow. She joyfully filled her basket to the brim. Overjoyed, she ran back inside to thank the little men, shaking each of their hands warmly. Then she hurried home to her stepmother. As she walked through the door and said, "Good evening," a shining piece of gold fell right from her mouth. She excitedly told them her story, and with every word she spoke, more and more gold pieces tumbled out, soon scattering all over the floor. Her stepsister watched, her face contorted with jealousy. "Look at her, throwing money about like that," she cried, though secretly she was desperate for the same fortune. She begged her mother to let her go into the woods to find strawberries. At first, the mother refused, saying it was too cold. But the daughter wouldn't give up. So the mother finally agreed, dressing her in a splendid fur coat and packing her a bag full of bread, butter, and cakes. The girl marched straight into the wood and found the little house. The girl marched straight into the wood and found the little house. But she stomped into the room without a glance, sat herself down by the oven, and started gobbling her fancy cakes. "Give us some of that," the little men cried out. "Give us some of that," the little men cried out. When she was finished eating, they handed her the broom. "Go and sweep by the back door," they said. "Do it yourselves," she snapped. "I'm not your maid." But when she realized they weren't going to give her anything, she grudgingly went outside. The moment she left, the three men talked amongst themselves. "What shall we do with her?" the first one asked. "She is so unpleasant and has such a wicked, jealous heart." He then declared, "My gift is that she shall grow uglier every day." The second said, "My gift is that each time she speaks, a toad shall jump out of her mouth." The third added grimly, "And my gift is that she shall die a miserable death." The girl searched for strawberries outside, but found nothing but snow. Annoyed and empty-handed, she stomped back home. The second she opened her mouth to complain to her mother, a slimy toad hopped out onto the floor. With every word she spoke, another toad appeared, until everyone who came near her was completely disgusted. From that day on, the kind sister grew more beautiful with each passing day, while the cruel sister grew uglier. From that day on, the kind sister grew more beautiful with each passing day, while the cruel sister grew uglier. Her mind was consumed with finding new ways to harm the poor girl. One day, she devised a truly cruel plan. She boiled a huge kettle of yarn, then slung the scalding, heavy bundle over the girl's shoulder. She handed her an axe and ordered her to go to the frozen river, break a hole in the ice, and rinse the yarn. The girl, ever obedient, went to the river and began to hack away at the thick ice. As she was bent over her work, a magnificent coach pulled by grand horses came to a stop nearby. Inside sat the king himself. He looked at the beautiful girl toiling in the freezing cold and asked, "My child, who are you and what are you doing there?" "Will you go with me?" he asked gently. Overjoyed at the chance to escape her miserable home, she exclaimed, "Oh yes, with all my heart." She stepped into his royal coach, leaving her old life behind without a second thought. Just as the magical little men in the wood had foretold in an earlier part of her journey. When she and the king arrived at his magnificent castle, they were married in a ceremony of great splendor. The girl, once a poor servant in her own home, was now a queen, loved by her husband and admired by the kingdom. The girl, once a poor servant in her own home, was now a queen, loved by her husband and admired by the kingdom. The girl, once a poor servant in her own home, was now a queen, loved by her husband and admired by the kingdom. The girl, once a poor servant in her own home, was now a queen, loved by her husband and admired by the kingdom. The girl, once a poor servant in her own home, was now a queen, loved by her husband and admired by the kingdom. The girl, once a poor servant in her own home, was now a queen, loved by her husband and admired by the kingdom. The girl, once once a poor servant in her own home, was now a queen, loved by her husband and admired by the kingdom. The girl, once a poor servant in her own home, was now a queen, loved by her husband and admired by the kingdom. One afternoon, when the king had gone out hunting and the castle was quiet, the two evil women crept into the queen's chambers. With no one around to hear her cries, the stepmother grabbed the unsuspecting queen by her hair, while the stepsister seized her by the feet. Together they dragged her from her bed, across the room, and, without a moment of hesitation, threw her out of the open window into the swift-flowing stream that ran just below the castle walls. The poor queen vanished beneath the cold, dark water. With the true queen gone, the wicked stepmother quickly put her own ugly daughter into the royal bed, pulling the covers right up to her chin to hide her face. When the king returned, eager to see his wife, the old woman rushed to stop him. "Hush, hush," she whispered urgently. "She is sleeping deeply. She had a difficult day and must be kept quiet to regain her strength." The king, suspecting nothing, believed the old woman's lie and left the room, promising to return in the morning. The next day, the king came back to his wife's bedside. He spoke to her lovingly, but when she answered, something was terribly wrong. He spoke to her lovingly, but when she answered, something was terribly wrong. The king was shocked and confused. He asked the stepmother why this was happening. The cunning old woman quickly replied, "Oh, it is merely from her great weakness after childbirth. It will surely pass as she gets her strength back." The king, still trusting, accepted her explanation. But someone else in the castle had noticed something strange. That night, the young kitchen boy, who slept in a small room near the kitchen, couldn't fall asleep. As he lay awake, he saw a peculiar sight. Something in the shape of a white duck swam up the gutter that led from the stream into the castle scullery. The duck then spoke in a soft, sad voice. "My king, what maksaynt thou? Sleepest thou, or wakest thou?" The kitchen was silent. There was no answer. The duck spoke again, its voice filled with worry. "What cheer my two guests keep they from his hiding spot?" The kitchen boy, though frightened, whispered back, "In bed all soundly sleep they." The duck then asked her most important question, her voice trembling slightly. "And my little baby, how does he?" The duck then asked her most important question, her voice trembling slightly. "And my little baby, how does he?" The duck then asked her most important question, her voice trembling slightly. "And my little baby, how does he?" In its place stood the true queen, looking pale and ethereal, but as beautiful as ever. She glided silently from the kitchen to the nursery. There, she tenderly lifted her baby from his cradle, gave him a drink, and gently smoothed the covers of his little bed. After tucking him in safely, she transformed back into a duck and swam away, disappearing down the gutter into the stream below. This mysterious event happened again the next night. The duck swam up the gutter, asked her haunting questions to the kitchen boy, and transformed into the queen to care for her child before vanishing once more. On the third night, after she had tended to her baby, the queen, in her duck form, turned to the kitchen boy. "Go," she commanded softly but urgently. "Tell the king to take his sword and brandish it 3 times over me on the threshold of the kitchen." The kitchen boy didn't hesitate. He ran as fast as his legs could carry him straight to the king's chambers and told him everything he had seen for the past 3 nights, including the queen's strange request. The king, now realizing he had been terribly deceived, was filled with a mix of hope and fury. He grabbed his sword and rushed to the kitchen. Just as the kitchen boy had said, the white duck was there on the threshold, about to swim back down the gutter, without a second's delay. The king stood over the duck and swung his heavy sword through the air above it once, twice, and on the 3rd swing, a miracle occurred. The duck's form vanished, and there before him stood his wife, the true queen, alive, healthy, and as radiant as the day he first met her. The king was overcome with joy. He embraced her tightly, unable to believe she was truly back. The king was overcome with joy. He embraced her tightly, unable to believe she was truly back. The king hid the queen in a secluded chamber, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal the truth and expose the wicked plot. That moment came the following Sunday, the day their son was to be baptized. The castle was filled with guests, including the evil stepmother and her daughter, who were still smugly enjoying their deception. After the baptism ceremony, in front of the entire court, the king stood up and posed a question to the room. "What," he asked in a loud, clear voice, "does a person deserve who drags another from their bed and throws them into the water to drown?" The old stepmother, completely unaware that her crime had been discovered, answered quickly and cruelly. "Such a wicked person," she declared, "deserves nothing better than to be put into a cask studded with sharp iron nails, and then be rolled down a hill straight into the river." A chilling silence fell over the hall as she spoke. The king looked at her with cold eyes and said, "You have just spoken your own sentence." He then revealed the true queen to the astonished court. The stepmother and her daughter stood frozen in terror. The king ordered his guards to fetch the very cask the old woman had described. The 2 culprits were seized and forced inside. The top was hammered down, and just as the stepmother had decreed, the cask was rolled down the hill and into the river, where it disappeared forever. With the evil pair gone, justice was served. The king, the true queen, and their little prince lived together in peace and happiness for the rest of their days, their love and family stronger than ever before. The king, the true queen, and their little prince lived together in peace and happiness for the rest of their days, their love and family stronger than ever before. It's a powerful reminder that kindness will ultimately triumph over cruelty, and truth will always find its way to the light. What did you think of this tale? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next journey into the world of fairy tales. We'll see you in the next video.